It's Wednesday. It's 9 o'clock. I'm Chris.
I'm Daz.
And I'm Martin. Daz, it's loaded football. Run the intros.
You're the joker, the expert, the voice, but you want a background. A vision of weakness you don't.
Hey, what do you speeded that up? We had a nice little quick intro there, didn't we? I like that. Welcome everyone. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you are, I hope you enjoyed the show this evening. A lot of effort's gone in this week. We're on show number 3, so we're hoping it's going to be a little bit smoother than last week. But if not, I hope you enjoy it anyway for a few laughs. So the first thing that I just want to say before we kick off the show is that obviously tonight we've got a few Premier League games live at the moment. So at the moment it is Leeds at home to Everton, and Everton are currently winning 2-1. We've also got Aston Villa at home to West Ham, and it's just approaching half time, and that's still 0-0. And also it's Liverpool at home to Brighton, and that is also 0-0. So I'm going to be keeping you up to date with the scores as always. And now I'm going to pass you to Daz to talk about the questions and comments.
Questions and comments. I think it's time for loaded headlines. Okay, the first headline. What have we got going on this week? Let's talk about transfer deadline day. Transfer deadline day and the whole transfer window, the winter transfer window. Yeah, it was really pretty much the Brexit COVID transfer window. This time there's 12 permanent deals were completed. There was 84.2 million spent, down on the 230 million that was spent at the same time last year. The biggest signing was from Man United, the lad from Atlanta. And yeah, lads, what's your thoughts on the transfer window in general?
I mean, it was always going to be a quiet one. I think January's always. It's a weird window. Do you know what I mean, lads? It's like nobody's really doing too much. And I think COVID's probably ruined a lot of it with, with money and obviously no fans in the ground. So other than kind of Haller leaving West Ham, and I think, Chris, you raised the one about your man, Willian Jose, going into Wolves. There wasn't really too many big ones. There was more. It seemed to be kind of 90% of the deal were loan deals. Obviously, There's a few kind of around the clubs. Liverpool picked up, a couple. Newcastle picked up one. There was a few around, but nothing really that stood out for me massively. I think for me, probably the interesting ones for me were Miles Maitland going to from Arsenal to West Brom. I think that's a really good capture. I'm surprised that he didn't go elsewhere. Willian Jose to Wolves, I think, is a real good one. Chris, you spoke about him a few weeks back. We were talking about him obviously for Newcastle, and it didn't. Obviously he's gone to Wolves. I think that's a really astute signing. The other one for me was Josh King to Everton for $5 million. I'm surprised nobody else snapped him up. Obviously would have loved to have seen him go further north, but yeah, weird window for me. Not too many big ones, but no surprises really. I think, Chris, for you.
No, I mean, I suppose, surprises. You're right. There wasn't really many big ones. I mean, Josh King, right at the death. That was probably the coup of the window. To be fair, I mean, to get him for such a low price, I know a lot of clubs were put off because he wanted quite high wages, didn't he? But he's definitely worth He's definitely worth a risk at $5 million. 100%, because he's proven in Premier League, isn't he? And $5 million these days doesn't get you much, does it? So I thought that was a really astute deal. Yeah, and also I wanted to mention Liverpool. They've been praised, for pulling off this clever deal for Kabak. Now Kabak's a centre back for Schalke, and I think he's only young. I think he's only about 20. And Liverpool have agreed this bizarre deal where I think the loan fee is about 2 million, 2.5 million. And then if they want to sign him permanently at the end of the season, they can for approximately 18 million. And I think it rises to 25, 30 million. But if they don't want to, they can just give him back. Yet Schalke, I believe, are at the foot of the German league, struggling big time. And they've let one of the, really promising centre-backs go. So it's a bit of a funny deal. Yeah, I don't know how Liverpool have got away with it, but cracking deal for Liverpool.
Yeah. Obviously, with Josh King going to the other side of Merseyside, Chris, is there a few in your household there that have gone out and bought Josh King jerseys, or what's the story?
Not yet. I'm sure they will do. Yeah, like I say, I think he's going to be a popular player with the fans, because at the moment, really up top, they've only got Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and I believe I'm right in thinking, did Tosun go out on loan? I could be wrong, but I thought Tosun might have gone out on loan. But if he hasn't, anyway,
yeah.
I think he did, didn't he? But
I think he was tipped to go.
Yeah, he doesn't really get a look in anyway, Tosun, does he? So Josh King, it's a fantastic option for Devon, isn't it? So
I think it'll bring him goals, because I don't think you're guaranteed it with Richarlison. And he's had a couple of injuries, and I think he can be a bit prone to a dodgy tackle as well. So he's quite prone to a yellow on the odd red. So I think Josh King will bring goals for Everton. I think in the setup and with the likes of James in the middle and stuff. I think that could turn out to be one of the second half season signings for me.
Yeah, another one that happened as well, kind of a bit under the radar, just on the deadline day, is Minamino going from Liverpool to Southampton on loan as well. I was surprised with that one, and I'm surprised a few more didn't look at him as well. And of course, Willock has turned up at Newcastle, so hopefully he can do the business first with the Edlin going and bring it in. Well, we didn't need to we still have an empty squad space left, because we don't have to register him because he's young enough. But we'll see.
I seen a good one there on Twitter today, which was a picture of Willock and a picture of Bruce, and it just said Willock and Pillock, which I thought was absolute quality. So whoever put that together and whacked that out on Twitter, fair play to you. It was really good.
Lads, I think we'll move on. I think we'll move on to our next one, which is the surprise results from yesterday. So I'm just going to flash them up on screen for everybody. Yeah, we'll look at these one by one here, and see what you think. So let's look to the first one, I suppose, and let's look at Sheffield United getting a victory over West Brom, a real 6-pointer battle there. If Sheffield United didn't get something from that, they were really cut adrift. So now it's nicely grouped down there at the bottom, and hopefully those three stay there together, huddled. I'd be happy with that. But what do you make of it? I'll give my own thoughts first. Yeah, just saw it's kind of a few of the goals back. Suppose the big games coming up for the next. The Sheffield United play Chelsea and West Brom play Spurs, so it's a good one for Sheffield United to get those points. And they came back from 1-0 down to win 2-1. So fair play to them.
Yeah, for me, they're sneaking a couple of results. Sheffield United, I'd be slightly worried about them. Obviously, they've had a stinking half season, I guess. But they've picked up 2 or 3 now. I think they're there on 11 points in the table. So yeah, you're right, Daz. It's massively starting to bunch up. But there's a piece there that obviously 2 or 3 of them are getting different wins, different weeks, and they're kind of leapfrogging. So I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Sheffield United maybe climb up a bit. I think West Brom are kind of faltering. So yeah, it's gonna be tight. It's going to be tight for me, but look, it's a great result for the Blades.
Yeah, fantastic result. And do you know what? It makes the league a little bit more interesting, doesn't it? Because as Daz said, they would have been cut adrift had West Brom won. And obviously from a Newcastle point of view, which, I will always have, I'm pleased that Sheffield United won, because it just means that, West Brom aren't, teetering towards getting out of that bottom 3. Now, with Sheffield United winning, it just keeps West Brom and Sheffield United, close together. I think Sheffield United are on 11, West Brom are on 12, and then you've got Fulham on 14. And then you've got above them directly is Burnley, who are on 22. So, there's a healthy little 8-point gap there. So it works out well, in terms of being a Newcastle fan anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
let's move on to the next one, which was Wolves and Arsenal. So this was a strange one. 2-1. I just flick up the scores for everyone again. 2-1 here for Wolves. I flick back at the goals really and the sendings off. The first one for me wasn't a red card for Luis. He was unlucky to get sent off, and what was Lino doing with punching the ball outside the box? He deserved the red card there. yeah, it's a good win for Wolves, really.
Yeah, I mean, look, I didn't actually watch it last night because obviously we were watching other things, but I watched the kind of highlights back this morning. I suppose, the top of my head, I watched Leno. I was kind of like, what the fuck is he at? What's he doing? Like, it was crazy. But yeah, Wolves again, like, do you know what? Wolves could be dragged into this relegation piece because their results have been up and down. So they're not, nobody's really talking about Wolves. But their season has been up and down for me. And they could, depending on results, on the run into their season, they could get, with the likes of Newcastle, with Burnley, Wolves, and a few around them, they could get dragged into that kind of fight to stay out of the three,
They're missing Jimenez big time. I suppose he hit the bad injury, like, so.
Yeah.
He was the main supply goals. Yeah,
they've still got some quality players, though, Daz.
Yeah, they do.
So you wonder what's going on with them.
Do you know what, boys? I think Wolves and Arsenal, especially this season, are probably two of the most unpredictable teams. I mean, Arsenal can go out there and perform and play really well, pick up 3 points where perhaps you wouldn't necessarily think they could. And I feel Wolves are exactly the same. And certainly from a betting point of view, I couldn't pick which team would win yesterday because it is one of those games where you literally couldn't predict it. And when I saw Arsenal went 1-0 up, I thought, Arsenal will kick on now. And then, that happens to them. And then Wolves go and win 2-1. But yeah, I completely agree with you, Marty. I think Wolves could quite easily be sucked into it. As I've already said this season, I think the teams 17th and above are extremely lucky that the 3 bottom teams at present are so weak because they are consistently losing games. And
a couple of shock results still brings you into it, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it does. It does. I mean, William Jose,
two odd wins, and you're right in it.
If this William Jose hits the ground running, Wolves could get back up there, couldn't they? And then they've obviously got Adama Traore, who was very hit and miss, isn't he?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one, lads, which was the big one of the night, the 9-0. Man United 9, Southampton 0. Massive result there. 2 red cards in that match as well. The first one was a very bad tackle. When I was looking back on it, and the second one was a professional foul just to kind of just drop another goal in. But Southampton, they're totally depleted. They're luckily enough we play them next, as in Newcastle. But they have about 12 players missing between injuries and suspensions and everything. And of course, it's not the first time Southampton have gotten a hammering on the last.
Ship 9, no. Yeah, again, I watched the highlights this morning. None of the Man United goals were really special. They took their goals and took their chances. I think every now and again you get one of these blip games that you get like a 7 or an 8-0, and you're kind of looking at it going, Jesus Christ, what happened? And it just so happens that Man United have had a couple. Obviously, Southampton, 2 within I think kind of 12, 13 months of each other. So obviously it's a kick for them. But look, Man United took their chances. But I don't think. I think the goals went in, but I don't. On another night, some of those don't go in. Do you know what I mean? Just it was just one of those nights. But look, you got to take your chances. You got to put them away, and obviously, Man United are on a good run. They put 9. Newcastle have Southampton next at home. So depleted squad, hopefully you'd like it to play to your hands, but who's to know? But yeah, freak result, I think. But obviously, if you're Southampton, and I suppose anyone that's watching, and I'll just give a quick shout out because I am, along with Daz, I've got the questions and bits coming in here. So a couple of shout outs to the likes of Mike Gent, Julie Baker, Skullfist, a few others who are firing up questions. First of all, thanks for watching. I know most of you guys are regulars, so fair play to you for coming back. Quick one for those who are watching, throw it up in the comments. Who have been the managers for the last couple of 9-0 wins? So obviously you've got Ole last night. United I think they put 9 past Southampton last time, was it?
Last time, yeah.
Last time. So who was the Man United manager at that occasion? And is there anybody else in the Premier League over the last while has put 9 past somebody, and who were the managers? I've said I think Ferguson was one of the managers for Man United. Obviously, Ole last night. Not sure. We think Spurs maybe put 9 past somebody. Chris, I think you said Defoe scored.
I think
4 or
Defoe
5.
got 5. Yeah, I think so.
If you do know, if you do know, get it on the questions there. Get it back to us, and let us know who were the last teams to whack away 9, and who were the managers. Let us know whether we were right or wrong.
Grand lads. Okay, the last result of the night then was the Newcastle Palace one, and both myself and you, Chris, were on Matchday Live yesterday with Steve. Well, yeah, I thought that they played well. Okay, we lost, but we had a lot of the ball, which we weren't used to. Yeah. And I think I went for Fraser as man of the match, and you went for Hayden, and Hayden was my other player there. But no, look, we just got unlucky on the night. We didn't put the ball in the back of the net. And it's good. It was a good performance. I think Southampton is key for us coming up at the weekend.
Absolutely, Davs. Do you know what I felt a bit of a black sheep last night because I wasn't majorly annoyed, at losing. Don't get me wrong, no one likes to lose, but at the end of the day, the way I was looking at it, I was thinking, well, we've actually put in a half decent performance there, and compared to the dross that we've been watching for the past 4, 5, 6 weeks,
yeah,
that was to watch. We were in the game. Oh, have we got a question up there?
We have a question. Yeah, what's everyone's thoughts on Messi's contract leak and the figures that were mentioned?
I'll be honest with you. When I first seen it, I had to actually work out how many fucking zeros were in it. But I mean, it's
unreal.
If that is true, I think 2 things for me. Whoever within the club leaked that, if it wasn't Messi himself or somebody within his own camp, needs to be shot out the door at Barcelona. I think that's one thing. Secondly, I still don't ever see Messi wearing another jersey other than Barcelona. I think it's the normal kind of thing with Barcelona, the likes of Madrid, but these big stars, the likes of Messi, the likes of Ronaldo when he was there at Real Madrid, they kind of leak these little contract bits and, Messi's thinking about leaving and this, that, and the other. But a lot of it is to kind of oust the current chairman or the current, head of the tree, I suppose, in a lot of the big La Liga clubs, in particularly when they're fan-owned. The likes of Barcelona is fan-owned to a degree. So I think whoever in the club leaked that out, if it was a club internal, I think should be shot out of a gate very rapidly. But look, I mean, from a point of being a footballer, look, Messi is one of the world's greatest, alongside Ronaldo. So if somebody said to me, listen, here's a contract for 500 million, would I knock it back and be worried about a leak in the press? I wouldn't give a shit. If I'm taking home that money, do you know what? You can leak, whatever you want in the papers, lads, because I'm enjoying the lifestyle and doing whatever I want. So yeah, look, it is what it is. But I think a lot of the Spanish clubs, in particular the big clubs, are under severe financial pressure. And I think a good comment there about if the clubs ever recalled their debts, some of these clubs are in big trouble. Big trouble.
I mean, Barca are apparently on the verge of going bankrupt, aren't they? And if you're paying wages like that to one player, it's no surprise. I mean, obviously Messi, arguably is one of, or if not the best player in the world at the moment. But you can't. How can you sustain paying someone that much money? It's just it's absolutely bizarre. And obviously the new camp fills 120,000 a week. They're going to be missing them gate receipts, aren't they?
Yeah. Exactly. Maybe we need to get on to Messi and ask him, does he want to pip the Saudis?
That's a good point. Lads, Julie came back to us.
I said less to Julie.
And I agree with Julie's answer here as well. On the manager, is what I said off air.
Brendan Rodgers.
Okay. Yeah.
Fair enough.
That's from Mike.
95.
That's it. Yeah.
95. Yeah. Okay. That must have been Ferguson then, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Was Andy Cole still playing then?
Yes.
He would have been in that United team.
Yeah, it was 95 because Shearer come 95, 96, and Cole.
Yeah, maybe
Cole
it wasn't it then. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
let's move on.
Yeah, let's go to. Are you ready, Chris?
I'm ready. Loaded leaderboard. I've been looking forward to this section.
Do you know what it is? It
they
gets
have-
better every week. I have to say, like our voiceovers are the bit of the show I enjoy the most. I have to say, because it's just
Definitely.
you never know what's gonna come out.
No,
Should I display the leaderboard, do you think?
Oh,
Yes,
absolutely.
display the
Naz,
leaderboard.
throw it up. Throw it up.
Do you think
No,
so?
actually, let's leave it
It's
off.
not
Let's
working.
leave it off.
Put it up.
Let's leave it off.
Put it up.
It's
Hey,
not
it's my
working.
section. I want you to put it up.
Oh,
Hey!
man.
Here we go. Hey, you know what? It's not over. It's not over, but
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Hang
What-
on. Yeah,
what-
it's
what
my,
did you say
it's my
about-
section, and I'm top. How's that work out?
what did he say about cream rising to the top or something?
Yeah, what
I
do you
was
say
at
about-
bottom last week. I wasn't
Yeah.
bottom last week.
I'd say it's not just Messi's figures that are being fuddled with. That's all I'll say. Never mind an extra 0 here and there, lads.
Let's look at the fixtures, lads. And Chris, do you want to talk us through?
Oh
Yeah, let's rattle through them.
God. Yeah, I'm gonna talk you through. Right, okay, boys. So where am I going to pick my points up this week? Okay, so we're starting with Tottenham at home to Chelsea, which is tomorrow. So I'm going to say a Tottenham home
I'm going
win.
to say a
What about
draw
you,
here,
Daz?
Chris.
I'm gonna go.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Chelsea.
Ooh, okay. So on Saturday we have Aston Villa at home to Arsenal, and I am going to say Aston Villa win.
And I'm also saying Villa.
I'm gonna
Daz?
I'm gonna book the trend. I'm going Arsenal.
Mart, you're doing what you accused me of last week.
It got you to the top of the
Picking
board, lad.
opposites. Right. I know, hey, Mart, it might work. It might work. Okay, so next one we've got is Burnley at home to Brighton. Ooh, it's a toughie. I'm going to say
And
draw.
I'm also going to
Daz?
say draw, Chris.
I'm going
Mark's going to
Burnley.
say home win. There it is. Good man. Okay, we've then got Newcastle at home to Southampton. And after the last two performances, I'm going to say Newcastle home win. What about you, Daz?
I'm with you all the way. Newcastle home win here, especially with them missing potentially 12 players.
Yeah.
I'm going to be controversial. I'm going to go draw.
Well.
You're doing
Okay.
that match day live.
I am doing that
Do you know
match day
what?
live. Yes.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were saying something else. No, I was just going to say, actually, while I've just got a second, I'm just going to say I am following the games, boys. But honestly, there's been no goals. I've not missed any cards or anything like that. It's literally gone quiet. We've only got one more minute left in the Leeds-Everton game. That's still 2-1 to Everton. So it looks like they're going to hang on. Aston Villa is still 0-0 at home to West Ham. And Liverpool are still 0-0 at home to Brighton. So I just thought I'd let you all know that. Okay, so the next game that we've got is Fulham are at home to West Ham. And I am going to say a West Ham win.
And I'm also saying a West Ham win. I'm not copying you, Chris, but that's the one I've picked.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right call, lads. I'll go with that West Ham win.
Okay, fantastic. And the last one we've got on Saturday is Man United at home to Everton. And I am going for a Man United home win.
Man United home win for me as well.
I'm going to go draw.
Goal!
Oh,
There's been a goal at
Goal.
Upton Park. Oh, tell a lie.
Okay,
No,
who
there's been a...
scored?
I
Oh,
might have given
happens
away.
when we do
There's been a goal
this.
at Villa Park. There's been a goal at Villa Park. Well, it's just flashed through, but I'm
Okay.
still waiting for it. But apparently West Ham have scored.
ooh.
And we're waiting official confirmation on who scored, but West Ham have scored. In fact, that leads
Okay.
me nicely on to a transfer that we forgot earlier, lads. Do you remember West Ham signed Jesse Lingard on loan? That was an interesting one,
That's
wasn't
right.
it?
Yeah.
He'll do well for them.
Yeah, big
He
transfer.
just
I
needs
wondered if
game
it was
time.
Jesse. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
I think the fact that he won't be in the changing room with Pogba and they won't be dancing on holiday singing about beans, then I think he'll do all right.
Yeah, I agree, mate. And interestingly enough, the goal machine, Thomas Souček, scored the goal.
Ooh, no,
Can't
man.
stop scoring.
He's
Yeah.
a good one for fancy football.
I had him in
absolutely.
my fantasy football team at the start of the season. I took
Did
him
you?
out and he hasn't stopped
Oh.
scoring since.
No way.
Also, another bit of breaking news, lads. I'm see Phil in the green room sweating. He has books in front of him. You can't see him. I can see him. He
All right.
So
We need to
we'll
rattle
fly-
through these
we'll-
scores,
we'll
boys.
fly
Let's
through
get them,
these
let's get
and
them
we
out the
get-
way. And
get
put him
Phil
out of
on.
his misery.
We'll speed it up. Sorry, Phil. We won't be a second, mate. Okay, so we've got Spurs at home to West Brom. I'm going Spurs home win. Daz?
Spurs as well, Chris. Surprise.
Oh, see, I think this could be a funny one. I'm gonna, yeah. Oh no, yeah. Spurs. Okay, Spurs win. Yeah. I was going to go West Brom, but anyway, yeah. Spurs,
we need a Spurs win.
We do, yeah.
Spurs, okay. Next one, Wolves. Wolves at home to Leicester. I'm going to say a Leicester away win.
Leicester for me as well.
Draw.
Come on, Daz.
Sorry, Chris.
Okay. This is going to be controversial one. Okay, we've got Liverpool at home to Man City. I'm going to say Man City win.
Oh, that's your windows getting put out.
And I'm saying a draw here, Chris.
Okay, mate.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going Man City win because City are on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, just to let you know, by the way, guys, full time, Everton have beaten Leeds 2-1. Okay, so next game, we've got Sheffield United at home to Chelsea. I'm going to say Chelsea win.
I'm saying Chelsea win as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Chelsea win.
Okay, and the last game, which looks like a tough one, Leeds at home to Palace. I'm going to say draw.
And I'm saying a Leeds win there.
Yeah, I'm going for a Leeds win for me as well, please.
Okay, lads, fantastic.
Okay.
Good luck.
Great.
Good luck.
Next
hopefully
section.
you're bottom of the table next week again, Chris. Okay, so on to the next section. Are you ready, Martin?
I am ready, Daz. Loaded tune.
Beautiful.
I know, tell you.
Love that.
So, shall we bring Phil on?
Let's bring him on.
Goal.
Oh no, let's bring him on anyway.
Bring him on for the goal. Bring him on for the goal.
Welcome, Phil.
Hey, there he is, lads. Right, Chris, give us your update first, Chris.
You're going to love this, boys. Liverpool have gone 1-0 down against Brighton.
Oh.
Well, I'm saying we're going to love it. We don't love that at all, being Newcastle fans.
No,
but...
like you've already lost 2 windows. Let's not get any more smashed.
I know. Yeah, so Brighton are 1-0 up against Liverpool.
Very good.
Cool.
Very good. Right. So this is my bit. So obviously, last couple of weeks you've seen on Loaded Football, we've kind of started banging out a few tunes, and I've had the great opportunity to start having a bit of banter and a bit of crack with some bands. We put out a tweet a while back to say, if you want to get your music, if you're up and coming, you want to get your tune out in Loaded Football, get in touch. And luckily enough, Phil, who got in touch with us, and we've had a bit of conversation going backwards and forwards, said, listen, lads, I know you guys are really amateurish, but I've got a cracking tune, and I'd love to come on and get my tune out there. So PG Ciarletta, is that right? Am I saying it right?
Yeah, that's my stage name. That's my moniker. So PG Ciarletta. Okay. Obviously, my name's Phil. So when I was starting out, I think people got a bit confused by that. They were always looking for Phil Ciarletta, but so I was like, no, it's PG Ciarletta. So
PG Ciarletta. Yeah, because I seen the name and then I heard you speak, and I was like, oh, what the fuck, lads? Hang on.
Yeah.
Is that cool? Hang on. I've got the wrong one. Hang on. So obviously you sent us in a bit of a bio. So just for those who are watching, Phil is from the seaside town of Kirkcuddy in Fife, is an East Fife supporter, and I, Chris, as part of the Loaded Quiz, you've got some good East Fife quizzes. A big shout out to East Fife.
Oh, the pressure's on.
Pressure is on. Phil's music is based on humble past experiences and observations. So, there is some good tunes in there. And music, which I really love this bit, which is it's music that enables the listener to forget about the 9 to 5, which in the current COVID, I'll be honest, like I've got a job, but I forget about the 9 to 5 most of the days because I've got 3 young kids, so I don't get time to work. But it was really good. 2 singles, The Sesh, which we're going to have a bit of a tune of and play off later on, came out in August. And then you've the new tune, Chancer, came out in November. So first and foremost, obviously, we did say earlier on, but welcome to the show, Phil. Welcome to Loaded Football. And I suppose my first question to you is, why East Fife and how are they doing and how often do you get there?
Yeah, so obviously I'll just say thank you for having me on the show. It's obviously we're having banter back and forth on Twitter, so nice to come in for a chat. And just because I think there was a possible myth that this was a made-up club, so just to put that to bed, I've got this is the top here.
There he is.
Oh,
Retired.
Love it, mate.
They're in Scotland, right?
Yeah,
I'm just guessing. Yeah.
So it just came about. Fun enough, my dad. Well, to be honest, with Scottish football's dominated by Celtic and Rangers. The bulk of the country are either Celtic, Rangers fans, you've got Hibs, Hearts. But my dad was from from Kirkcaldy, is in Fife. There's other seaside towns called Leven and Methil. So my dad was from Leven, which is close to Methil, and he just supported East Fife. So he took me there as a baby. And I'm talking like down to Berwick to watch East Fife, so that's like 2-hour journey. Cried the full game because the football was that beautiful, but that's really where the love came there. You know, I just watched them as a young boy, and it stayed ever since. In terms of how they're doing, so the league they're in is Scottish League One, so it's the third tier, and it's a hybrid league. So you'll have some clubs in Scotland that are full time. So there's 3 teams in there that are full time. You've got Falkirk, Partick Thistle, and Airdrie, and the rest of the teams are part time. So it's a very, very competitive and tough league. And they're sitting mid-table at the moment. They've always been, if you get a 4th place finish, you get a playoff. So again, there always seems to be around about 5th place. So as you see now, they're at 6. But again, if you look from 4 downwards, I would say, look how many points are in it between the teams. It's really tight and competitive. And I think once you get, I think Partick Thistle are on a bit of a bad run, so I'd say they're maybe in a false position. But if you look at Falkirk, Cove are big spenders. If you go away from Falkirk, Partick and Cove, I'd say the rest of the teams are all evenly matched. So again, it's very, very difficult to get yourself out of that league, and you could easily find yourself at the bottom and potentially going down a level as well.
Sorry, Phil, is it 1 or 2 teams that gets promoted?
Yeah, so it used to be the top 2 went up, and the league decided, you know what, we're going to try and spice things up here. So what happens is, so if all things remain the same, Falkirk automatically get promoted to the next tier. And the teams that finish 2nd, 3rd, and 4th go into the playoffs. And then the league above, the team that finishes bottom, they're relegated straight away. But the team that finishes 2nd bottom are in the playoffs with the 3 teams from places 2, 3, and 4th in the lower tier.
Tricky.
That's how it's decided.
It's been a
We'll
goal,
be keeping
boys.
an eye on that.
Just so it's
exactly.
It's been a goal.
Okay.
So thank you, Daz. So it's now 2-0 to West Ham, and that man Jesse Lingard scored.
Oh, on a debut.
Yeah. So West Ham are 2-0 up away to Villa.
They do well.
Some run.
Yeah, exactly. So obviously, away from football, you're obviously singer-songwriter. So from your perspective, give us the lowdown on the music. How did you get into it? Is there music in the family? What's I suppose, where are things at now for yourself, Phil? And, what's the aim? How are you covering things off in COVID? How are you getting the tunes out? I'm presuming it's like this, social media pods and stuff like that. But obviously, how is it affecting you with regards to getting out on the road and doing stuff like that? So where are you at with all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, so my musical background comes from, I'd say, I let my father, he played guitar, so I just wanted to get a guitar when I was like 11, 12-year-old. A lot of my cousins were into music as well. So that kind of grew from there. Again, I kind of studied it at school, and a lot of my friends were in bands and stuff, so I used to go and play and jam about with them. Traditionally, what we'd do is I'd travel the Central Belt, and I used to play in sort of the pubs and do the standard cover set in there. Yeah. But lockdown was a big change and opportunity for me. It just gave me the time to go, you know what, let's go for it. Let's write some music. You've had a bit of life experience now, and you've got plenty of stories you can reflect on, and your mates have got plenty of stories you can reflect on. So just get them in a bit of paper, write relatable and catchy songs, and get them out there. So up until the point of lockdown, that was, I think, the week of lockdown, I was starting to get into the smaller venues. I was about to play a gig, and then lockdown happened, and obviously we've been stuck with virtual gigs. a lot of social media. I've even found myself on TikTok now. Just putting videos. It's like you're just trying to.
Don't worry, we won't share any of that.
Yeah. You're just trying
Can you
to
do a sea shanty for us or anything like that? No.
you can do a sea shanty, but yeah, I'm just all you can really do now is go on the social media streams and keep your profile up there, try and attract new followers. Keep writing music, play a couple of live streams here and there. I got lucky when the restrictions, relaxed slightly in the summer. You could go out in the studios and start to record, and you could, do like live lounges, socially distanced and stuff like that. So it allowed me to get some material then. But obviously now we're back to the square one that you can't virtually record. So you're really waiting till that opens up again. I've just seen someone said, "Welcome, Phil. How's it going, mate?"
There you go.
So
It just proves we are live.
So that's the plan for me. Won't get knocked over in a five top.
Ignore that guy.
Yeah, we
Ignore
don't know
John.
who that is.
As he says, ignore it. He's banned.
The good thing is, during that period of lockdown, you had time to write a lot of songs. I'm still writing as we go. So the plan is now the sesh went out, done really well. So in Scotland, it was in the top 10 of the official Scottish charts. It managed to get to number 8. UK alternative charts, it managed to get to 1. So that was a good start. That song really connected with a lot of people. Chancer still done well. Never really hit the same heights. But again, what I'm finding about my music is the stage I'm at. There's still a lot of people out there that haven't listened to it, but when they do listen to it, they love it. So I'm like, if I can get the sound out there, then there's every chance that the sesh can come back out of nowhere, like the sea shanty. You never know.
Exactly. As long as you're not wearing a pair of pants that don't reach your ankles, mate, I'd say you're streaming success. Albeit those lads had plenty of hits. But I think with the tune, for me, like obviously, I think there's a couple of things. Like we obviously kind of, we're only in show 3. We come off the back of another channel where we do mainly Newcastle stuff and whatever. And we were kind of looking at the lockdown, and we said, you know what, let's just put like a general football show there with a bit of music, bit of banter, like a soccer AM typey vibe and whatever else. So obviously I kind of started looking at the music, obviously got the mail in from yourself and kind of hit the tune up. And I sent it to Daz and I went, holy shitballs, this tune, it's like, it's in me brain. And Daz went, all right, hang on a minute. I know you're looking at bands. This isn't fucking Live Aid. Relax. And I went, no, seriously, man. I swear down, you got to listen to this tune, man. It's really, really good. And about a day later, Daz texted me and said, holy fuck, I can't get that out of my head. I've been playing it in the car and everything. Yeah. So it's like, it's a really good tune. So I think, look, I mean, this is probably a good tune moment, Daz. Do we want to whack the tune on? Let's play the session. What we're going to do, Phil, is we're going to play the full song now. If any of the listeners want to get a question into Phil, I know Chris and Daz have got some questions. Then we got the quiz. So look, let's get the tune on. This is The Sesh by PG Ciarletta. Let her rock, Daz. This is a massive tune, man. Love it.
I'm on the sesh.
I'm on the
Right.
Yes. Absolutely love that song. Has to be said. And we got people, as soon as that went off, we got people firing stuff in. So I know, Daz, you can probably throw a few up there, can you?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I was saving them. I was going to go with my own questions, but let's go with the viewers' questions first, and then we'll come back to our questions, Chris. Let me see. Comment here. And question: who are your musical influences, Phil?
Wide ranges. I'll summarise a few. So Scottish wise, I would say Jerry Cinnamon. A band in Dundee called The View. I love the Stone Roses. I love a bit of Oasis as well. So I could list acts for hours and hours, but those are sort of the main sort of influences, I would say.
Yeah,
that's what I listen to a lot.
Yeah, I also get a kind of a bit of Paolo Nutini kind of a vibe off you as well.
Yeah, no, I love a bit. I love Paolo Nutini as well. Again, one of the big Scottish artists. So growing up, I did listen to Paolo a lot.
And linking to what Mike has said here, to me, this would be the song for when lockdown and restrictions are over. Just everyone back getting to go out, and this could be the anthem for that. If you ask me, it'd be perfect for it. That's why today I was tweeting some of the Irish radio stations. Myself and Martin are based in Ireland. I think it'd go down so well in Ireland. This tune, it is.
I think there's a chunk on it for me, like the whole piece of kind of like, head out on the weekend and like, I've gone missing for 2 days. Like I can totally relate to that before I had kids. 2 days and probably longer. But I think, Daz, I think you're right. It's one of those, like that for me is a tune that I know this summer, if lockdown isn't, fully over, cranking up a barbecue out the back garden, bag full of cans, music blaring, and that's a tune for me that it's just a cracking tune. It's just real vibe to it, and just gets in the head, and you find yourself kind of doing whatever, kind of just really bouncing away to the tune. I mean, me and Daz were dancing there, which doesn't happen very often because my knees are really.
It's a perfect song for St James's Park game day as well, I think. Exactly.
We'll try and pick it up. Although I did see earlier on, I know Daz pushed something out, and we did get a retweet from East Fife Football Club. So
did we? Oh, finally!
Fair play to them. Yeah. So they
put it on their social media feed. So they were good when the sesh came out. They retweeted it as well. So yes, it's good on East Fife.
Some football clubs we've got now because Salford had it was down to Jace's song and everything, but that two link in with football clubs, cool. And yes, an important question here for you, Phil. Would you take Steve Bruce?
I see Steve, like obviously observing what's going on from up here. I see he's going through a hard time, and I seen the form. Which doesn't look too good. And to be honest, I think Newcastle have got quite a lot of good players in that team. We spent a bit of money, so I think at the moment East Fife's manager's doing okay. So I think we'll keep East Fife's manager. Steve Bruce can come to the game if he wants, but we'll stick with our manager now.
yeah. So that's a polite no, then, really, is what you're saying. So just a couple of the bits I was watching, some of the comments coming in. I know we were throwing up the questions. So John Justin Allen, who's one of our regulars, says, "Holy quality tune, lads. Me Mrs. Q-Tech is dancing around the sitting room." Andrew Seaton says, "Class tune." Carl Hope says, "Wow." Julie Baker, "Love to hear the accent coming through. Glad that we're not hearing the yourself trying to make yourself sound American." Mike obviously said, "Who are the influences?" And then obviously can't wait to get back on the sesh. Great show so far, guys. Loving the vocals. John Justice, Polo Natini, great musical legend, good drinker. So Dave Shepherd, quality tune. So listen, everybody out there is absolutely loving it. So look, it's as we said, it's a great tune. So I've probably spoke enough. So I'll open it up to the two boys to fire any questions, and then I think we get onto the quiz because pressure is on.
Yeah. I've got a quick question for you, Phil. And you've probably been asked this before, but what happened to the blonde hair? I see you rocking the blonde hair in the video.
Yeah, so the blonde hair was probably a moment in the first lockdown finding something to do, so I got bleached. So now reached the point where it's grown out, and yeah, it's away. But it did look good, I think. So we could get it back. If I go viral, we'll maybe get it back. We'll see.
We've a player from Newcastle, Joe Linton. He could help you out with that.
He could help you with a barber.
Very good.
He's the man. Yeah, look, I think it's time, lads, to move on, and we'll move on. Are you ready, Chris? Are you ready?
I'm ready. Loaded quiz.
Yeah. We definitely got to get some vocals. There
And
must be somebody out there watching. Yeah, exactly.
The good news this week is that we've got rid of all timers, and the 60-second quiz is now a 10-minute quiz because that's how long it took last week. So whenever you're ready, Chris and Phil.
Okay, Phil. So this was titled the 60-second quiz, but now I'm going to be asking you 14 questions, which are worth a total of 15 points. So I think the target to beat 10. Is that right, lads, from last week?
Jace is currently top, and he's watching this. So he's he did actually tweet and say pressure is on, Phil. So there you go.
I know I've been giving it big licks on Twitter, so watch me get the wooden spoon here. Come on.
Well, do you know what, Phil? I'm really pleased because when you were talking a bit about East Fife before, I can tell you're a big fan. So hopefully, a lot of these questions won't be any bother to you. But let's see how you go anyway, mate. Okay. Now I've got to take your first answer as well, Phil. Okay.
Yep.
So here we go. Question 1. Tom's father has 3 sons. The first 2 are called 10 and 20. What's the name of the third son?
30.
Okay. When was East Fife Football Club founded?
1903.
Oh, he loves it. Yeah. Okay. Name the East Fife player whose first name and surname begin with the same letter. I believe there's only one.
Oh.
I could give you a little clue if you
Go
want.
for it.
If it's a bit difficult, mate. Okay, so he's number 7.
Number 7. Recent or?
Yeah, I think he's the current number 7. This could be another VAR moment, this, couldn't it?
Oh my God. Oh, Danny Denham.
There we go. Okay,
well
question
done.
number 4. Now you'll have to listen to this carefully. How many miles in total did the Proclaimers say they would walk?
1,000.
Okay, mate. Okay, and that one was worth. Now this one is worth 2 points, Phil. Okay. So, what are the first names of the Proclaimer brothers?
Oh my God.
I hope you're all enjoying this Scottish feel to the quiz. You liking it?
I'm going to go John and Kevin.
That's as good as.
Okay, mate. Okay. Which soft drink is often described as Scotland's other national drink?
Iron Brew.
Okay. Who is the East Fife goalkeeping coach?
Lindsay Hamilton.
What was that? Sorry.
Lindsay Hamilton.
Okay. East Fife's Scottish League One game on Saturday is postponed, but who are they due to play, Phil?
Forfar.
Okay. Which Scottish singer was listed by Times Magazine in 2010 as the 7th most influential person in the world?
Well.
A Scottish singer, and it was 2010, listed by Times Magazine, the 7th most influential person in the world.
Scottish singer. Pass. I would have said Rod Stewart, but he's not Scottish, so.
Now, this one, you've had a bit of a clue already for this one, Phil, but as things stand, who is top of the Scottish League One?
Falkirk.
East Fife's current ground is called Bayview Stadium and was opened in 1998. What was the name of the original ground?
Stadium. It's Bayview. I've only ever known it as Bayview.
Another word after Bayview. Formerly called Bayview
Bayview Park.
Stadium.
Bayview Park.
Okay. Who has the record for the most UK #1 singles in history? There's no Scottish link here, by the way.
Cliff Richard.
Okay, mate. In which city would you find the Cavern Club?
Oh, Liverpool.
That was a little link to me there, Phil. I hope you like that.
Oh, I've been there before.
And the last one. Johnny Walker is a famous whiskey which originates from Scotland. Can you give me 3 of the different coloured labels that they do?
It's red, gold, and black.
Lovely. Well done, mate.
Oh,
Okay.
he knows his drink.
He does. So what I'll do, I'll go through the questions and then I'll give you the answers. Okay. So the first question was, Tom's father has 3 sons. The first 2 are called 10 and 20. What is the name of the third son? You said 30. Unfortunately, it's Tom, as it's Tom's father. So that was a bit of a tough one, mate. When was East Fife Football Club founded? Absolutely spot on. It was 1903. Name the East Fife player whose first name and surname begin with the same letter. You were quite right. It's Danny Denholm. And then when I asked you how many miles in total did the Proclaimers say they would walk, you're absolutely right. It was 1,000. By the way, the wife said 5,000. And I said, where have you got that from? And yeah, so that's just totally off topic. But anyway, and so with the 2 points there was, what are the first names of the Proclaimer brothers? So the answer was Charlie and Craig. I think you said John and Phil. Was it? Oh yeah, that was it.
I should know that.
Which soft drink is often described as Scotland's other national drink? You're quite right. It's Iron Brew. And who is the East Fife goalkeeping coach? Absolutely spot on. It's Lindsay Hamilton. East Fife's Scottish League One game on Saturday is postponed. Who were they due to play? Now, the answer was Montrose.
Was it?
You were unlucky on that one, mate.
Yeah.
And which Scottish singer was listed by Times Magazine in 2010 as the 7th most influential person in the world? It was Susan Boyle. Bit of a curveball there. Bit of a curveball. As things stand, who is top of Scottish League One? You're quite right. It was Falkirk. East Fife's current ground is called Bayview Stadium and was opened in 1998. What was the name of the original ground? You were quite right. It was Bayview Park. And who has the record for the most UK #1 singles in history? It was Elvis Presley. You're close with Cliff Richard. And which city would you find the Cavern Club? You're correct. It was Liverpool. And finally, you absolutely smashed the Johnny Walker question and naming 3 labels. And yeah, you could have had blue, gold, green, red, black, or double black. Yeah, so,
running out of colours.
So just to toss up your scores, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But don't worry, Phil. We do have the bonus question. Would you like to take on the bonus question for 5 bonus points?
Yeah, let's go for it. Let's go for it.
Now, this is completely random, Phil. If you get this, mate, you should be getting about 50 points, to be fair. But, and this one fascinated me because I genuinely was way off the mark with this. Okay, so I'll give you it. If you get it within 30, I'll give you it. So the question is, how many dimples does a British golf ball have?
Oh, jeez.
I was shocked by it, by the way. And after Phil's had to go, maybe you 2 lads have a go. I was shocked.
Over 200.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
Boys, do you want to go advance on that?
I'll go 860.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 450.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I was nowhere near. I thought it was much less than that, but the actual answer is 330.
Oof.
We'd have never got that.
No,
tiny golf ball like that, a golf ball like that, 330. Unreal.
Yeah, but there's another sub question to this, which is which fucking Sado counted that?
I don't know. It wasn't me. Someone told me.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, Phil. So that leaves you on 9 points, mate. Of any respectable 9 points, by the way.
Yeah,
Good score.
well done.
Well done. Well done, Phil.
Yeah, there's some tough questions in there. Tough questions.
Yeah,
Very
I should
good.
have
It
got
was,
the,
and
I
these
should have
5
got,
ones, mate, smashed.
yeah, I should have got the Montrose. When I seen something, there was something today that got posted about a game versus Forfar that was postponed. So that was my assumption on that question.
So we have another question for you, Phil. Would you
Yes.
like to stay on? Would you like to stay on with us for the rest of the show? We may play your tune again at the end of the show.
Yeah, I can stay on for the rest if you
Yeah.
want. Like.
Yeah, join in. Okay,
Yeah.
let's move on. Well, next we move to Loaded 11.
Ooh.
So what is this? So this is a new section in the show. What we're going to do is we're going to each week we're going to take one position, and in a team 1 to 11, and this week we're going to take goalkeepers. We're going to each bring a goalkeeper to the table, plead our case for this particular goalkeeper, and then we're going to put a poll on Twitter. And the viewers will decide who fills in this case the number 1 jersey, and each week we'll bring a different position, and we'll start with you, Chris. Who's your keeper? Would you'd like to bring?
Okay, do you want to flash him up, Daz? There he is, Edwin van der Sar. So I picked Edwin van der Sar because the other 2 stole my one, but we'll forget about that. No, do you know what? Edwin van der Sar, fantastic goalkeeper. And do you know what? I remember a good number of years ago when Fulham managed to get him, and that was his first Premier League team, Fulham. And he was a class act at Fulham. And then obviously Sir Alex Ferguson, I know, I don't want to slag Sir Alex Ferguson off here by any means, but, one area where I think over the years he struggled to find, a real top keeper. I think he had Fabian Barthez for a bit, and then he had Massimo Taibbi. It was that little period where he was struggling to replace Schmeichel, and then he brought in Edwin van der Sar, and no surprise, the trophies followed. So I'm a massive fan of Edwin van der Sar. Fantastic, goalkeeper for Holland and for Man United. And I believe, he had, I couldn't tell you how many trophies he won, but I know it was a lot. And just an all-round good guy and a top pro. And I believe he's now working with Ajax. So he's back in his homeland in Holland, and he's now working with Ajax. And yeah, I think it would be wrong not to bring his name to the table. So I picked Edwin van der Sar.
Okay, I'm going to go next, and I'm going to bring to the table a chap you just mentioned, actually, Chris, Peter Schmeichel. And I'm going to go to my notes for Peter Schmeichel. Yeah, played for Brøndby, Man United, Sporting Lisbon, Villa, Man City. He got 292 caps for Man United. Was signed for 0.5 million, a bargain of the century, according to Alex Ferguson. He has 129 caps for Denmark, the Great Dane. So we could call him. He's won throughout his career. He won 24 trophies. That's amazing. He with Man United, he won 5 Premier League titles, 3 FA Cups, 1 League Cup, and 1 Champions League. That includes a treble in there. He's the first keeper to score a goal in the Premier League when he was playing for Villa against Everton. His son Casper is the current keeper at Leicester, and what I'll always remember him for is it's not a good memory. It's playing against Newcastle back in 1996, where he was absolutely like a brick wall or a force field or something like that in that 1-0 victory that probably helped towards United winning the league that year. We don't want to go there again. But I bring Peter Schmeichel to the table.
Okay, so I'll take your 2 keepers, and I will raise you a world legend. So my throw to the table is the one and the only Gianluigi Buffon.
Oh, legend!
So I think this is. I think, Daz, we can put the Twitter poll out, but I think you 2 boys are going to lose, sadly. So Buffon, age 43, current club Juventus, still playing in 2021. Current club's Parma. He was at Juve after Parma for 17 years. He went to PSG and then back to Juve. So far in his career, he has 1 UEFA Cup, 5 Coppa Italias, 10 Serie A titles, 1 Serie B, 7 Super Cups in Italy, 3 Champions League runners-up, and a World Cup and a league title in France with PSG and a Champions Trophy. So I don't think there is anything other that we can say other than Buffon is really the only keeper that should be in the World 11 in the number 1 slot. There is nobody better.
I feel sorry for Edwin van der Sar. I've sold him short here, haven't I? I need to do a bit of research. Poor Edwin.
Yeah.
Sorry, Edwin. Sorry, mate.
I did absolutely no work this afternoon, but researched Gianluigi Buffon. Phil, if you were throwing a keeper in, Phil, who would you throw in, lad?
On the spot, so I think we'll go for a current keeper in the Premier League. So I'd say I'd go for the Liverpool keeper, Alisson. I think in this day and age you need a sweeper keeper, and I think he's top notch. And I think last season, obviously before the season got curtailed when Alisson was out, and they had that other, probably what we'd call them in Scotland would be a diddy keeper, which is Adrian. You saw a massive difference in quality, and also the difference a goalkeeper can actually make on a football team is massive as well. So I'd go Alisson, but again, going through the history books, I couldn't argue against Buffon. He's obviously an Italian legend and a legend of world football. I don't see what keepers out there can really compete with that record that he's got.
I agree fully, absolutely.
But could Buffon do it in a wet night in East Fife? That's the question.
Absolutely not. I think he'd have a stick.
maybe with a can of Iron Brew, he probably could. But yeah, I think for me the thing with Buffon for me is like to still be playing at 43. Like the other keepers we're talking about are retired. This guy is still playing, and I think that to me, to be in that prime of fitness, still playing at it's not like he's playing lower league. He's playing for Juventus. So it's absolutely crazy, crazy. But yeah, look, that's the 3 keepers that have gone to the mix. So Daz, we're going to do what? We're going to put that up on Twitter?
Put it up on Twitter and as a poll, and then you get to log into our Twitter page. Give us a follow as well while you're in there, and just select which one you want to pick. Now, I must point out, Martin got first pick this week. That won't happen next week. And that is loaded 11. So I think we'll move on. And we're kind of getting towards the end of the show now. So maybe we'll just tell you about what's loading for us next week. And Martin, you want to give us run us through what's happening next week?
Yeah, absolutely. So next week, we've obviously got, we're back on next Wednesday, 10th of February, same time, 9 o'clock. We'll have loaded headlines. We'll have the update on loaded leaderboard when you see me go back to the top. We'll have loaded tune and what are you laughing at? We'll have loaded tune next week, and our special guests are Moonlight Parade. So they'll be on with us next week. I've got to email them probably this week and remind them, but they will be on with us next week with their tunes, and they will also go through loaded quiz. Loaded 11 then we will follow up with, and I think we're looking at, what are we looking at next week, lads? Is it a left back or right back, or where are we going?
I think we'll go left back.
Left back.
Okay, yeah.
So Andy Robertson. Yeah, well, good call. So that is pretty much next week. Follow us on Twitter at Loaded Football. You can subscribe to Loaded Football on YouTube. So get on it, get subscribed, and if you like what we're doing, if you love the tune by Phil and you want to hear quality music coming through over the next few weeks, then listen, it's free to subscribe. Get on it. Watch us on a Wednesday night. Watch us on repeat. Watch us in the bath. Watch us while you're in the jacks, doing whatever, but get on it and watch us. So for me, that's really it. I would obviously be the first to say good night. I'd personally like to thank Phil. Certainly, over the last week or so when we were bouncing emails backwards and forwards, absolutely delighted to have you on. Love the tune. I wish you all the very best of success. And as you're releasing more stuff and things open up, listen, keep in touch with us, and we'd love to have you back on it sometime, Phil. So
definitely.
Yeah, so I think I'm planning the next 2-3 months to release another single, a follow-up single, and then hopefully an EP at the end of the year. But I just obviously say to all the viewers, if they like, the sesh, then get yourself on social media pages and also the streaming platforms. So whether you're on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon Music, I'm easy to find. PG Ciarletta, just as it says at the bottom of the screen. yeah, get streaming this session will get stuck in your head. I can promise you that. So again, thank you very much for letting me on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely,
Pleasure
our pleasure, mate. So listen, for me, that's me for tonight. So over to the other two boys as we sign out.
So I'll just jump in there. I just wanted to say, Phil, as Martin's just said, thank you very much for coming on, mate. It's a pleasure to meet you. Really enjoyed doing your Scottish East Fife quiz. It was really good, mate. And yeah, I wish you all the very best. And I do hope you come back on. The final thing I just wanted to say, lads, is just that we've now got full times in the Premier League. So the full time result at Villa Park was West Ham beat Aston Villa 3-1 away from home, and Jesse Lingard scored a brace on his debut. So that was a really good result for West Ham. And the big shock of the night is we can now confirm that Brighton have beaten Liverpool at Anfield 1-0.
Wow.
Woo.
So that's a massive result for Brighton, and a real dent in Liverpool's title challenge for this season.
City's league to lose, lads.
Absolutely. So Daz, I'm going to pass to you, mate.
Yeah, I just like to say thank Phil for coming on and letting us play his tune. And I know that quiz has killed you, but you'll be back. You'll be back when you have that new tune out to topple that leaderboard. But just like thank the lads, and thanks everyone for watching and for the questions, everyone. And I think it's time for another blast of Phil's tune. And Phil, would you like to introduce it this time?
Yeah, I will do so. Again, this is my debut single, The Sesh, released in August time. Again, it's a song that you can all relate to. It's one that you can get stuck into your head, so hopefully you'll enjoy it and you can add it onto your playlist on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, you name it, and you can give myself a wee follow on the platforms as well. So this is The Sesh.
Good stuff.
Cheers, Phil. Take care, everybody.
Cheers, Phil. Take care, everybody. Good night. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye.